The way that I see it is appropriation bill and holding contractors accountable, because a lot of these contracted out, and by not appropriating it, the funding, or to appropriate to the funding that to make sure that the contractors who are in charge of these facilities have a standard that they comply to. I think those are actually the most critical things that we must do now. I do believe in holding up a bill. I do believe in speaking out about these contracts that federal government is handing out. It's not acceptable and it's subpar standard. But I also believe in investing in immigration legal defense. If we actually make sure that there is an investment by the federal government upholding people's constitutional rights, it's almost like we need our own federal public defender for immigrants. And that is the investments that I absolutely think we got to start considering.
We should ban private prisons nationally. We did that in California. In 2 years, there will be no state or local private prisons in California. We should have a national ban on that. Prisons are a public function that should be subject to public governance and rules, and prisons should never be subject to corporate profit motive or to Wall Street. That just makes no sense to me. It should not exist. And right now, when we look at what ICE is doing and the slush fund that they got to staff up and also to build more of these private prisons, these gulags that have no oversight, no accountability, a million constitutional violations happening. There's not been as much focus on what's happening in these private prison ICE gulags. And it's starting to come out. It's just how dangerous and filthy and unhealthy it is and how people are being horribly treated. And these are people who are being held there with no due process. They may be undocumented or legal residents or citizens, and that needs to stop. And there needs to be strong accountability for what they've done with these gulags.
The more you interact with people who work in the criminal justice system, who work on prison reform, the worse and worse the stories are. One of the issues we tried to fight hard on was letting prisoners call their families without going into debt, because there are these monopoly telephone systems that charge exorbitant amounts of money. Like, we don't actually provide for all of the essentials for prisoners. Prisoners still have to pay for a lot of what they get. So they have to rely on either friends and family giving them money, or they have to barter within the economy of the prison system. I think most people, when they hear how bad it is, no one can say that's the right thing to do. It's still the case that in many states, if you've ever gone to prison, you can never vote again. That is unconstitutional. And then the other piece of it is with the 14th Amendment, where we still allow slave labor for prisoners. And we do that shamefully in California. There's a larger package of prison reform that we have to do. I think just telling the stories of the individual injustices that occur in the system is one way to galvanize people. And I saw a bit of that starting to happen in 2018. I'm confident we can get back to that place.